Welcome everyone to this beautiful training from the Consistent Consciousness Program. We are in the month of presence, and this training is for graceful manifesting from your center point. Hi, my name is Emily Jackman. I'm a meditation master, Vipassana student of 7 years, and quantum channeler through engaging in the art of meditation to move my awareness into the cosmos and quantum from going deep within my cells and DNA, which is connected to the all. Quantum entanglement and epigenetics proves spiritual truths, and that is fucking awesome. So I intend to pass on my years of wisdom so that you can meditate with the highest intention and awareness of how to manifest through your center point, because that is where everything is found. My intention with this training is to clarify and confirm that you are the all, the one, the source, why, how, where, and when you can connect and receive everything you have always wanted from already being it. Here I am. And if I compare myself to this tree, I could be labeled as small. In the same breath, if I compared myself to this ant, I would say that I'm big. So what am I? Unless I am compared, I cannot be labeled. Unless someone else compares me, they cannot truly describe me. I'm labelless, free from their judgment and free from their definition. I therefore am everything and nothing when based solely on myself. You get to decide how you see yourself right now. Before we go further, name your force. Do you label it source, God, universe, energy, creator, I am? Just take any concept, any truth you have and apply it to how I use the words. So here we go. Everything is a projected perspective of how we see ourselves. However we view ourselves will be how we view all others, and ultimately how we will view God. Here's a beautiful scenery. In fact, I won't even say it's beautiful scenery. Here is a scenery that you're seeing through your unique perspective. Now, to me, this perspective means this: God, energy, creator, I am, whatever you resonate with. But it also, to me, is me. I'm looking at it. I'm perceiving it. I've done so much work that this is how I see the world. We will only see external reality as the exact unique projection of our unique perspective of self. Now, I believe in God, so of course I'm going to see it as God. I could equally label it beautiful, exciting, ancient. I could equally say it's ugly, dangerous, and irrelevant. What do you currently tune into yourself and see a beautiful scene of nature as? Is there fear coming up? Is there scarcity? Is it boring? Or does it look abundant and timeless? Let's look at this perspective. What do you currently feel when you look there? Me, I see it like this. Food's God, people are God, flowers are God, air's God. They're also aspects of me. God made us all, source made us all made of energy. Me, 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 me. They're versions of me. I'm looking at them as the projector of them to show me more of who I am. Again, what does this generate for you as a feeling? Does it look loving, intimate, fun? Does it look intimidating, frustrating, depressing? Do these people look valued and respected? Or do they, to you, look useless and ignored? Or does it conjure up within you? Because whatever you're perceiving in them is just a reflection of how you perceive yourself. It's your choice to perceive yourself as any of these images: wealthy, a master, rich, free, or even stressed. Okay, there's no one actually in charge of you. No one knows more than you know about yourself. No one can tell you you are wrong. This is your personal perspective without it being a comparative one. You might see this image up the top and see this person's lonely. I might see them as wealthy and free. You might see this master down here, this Kung Fu master, as dangerous, alone. I see them as powerful. We might see this woman looking stressed, and I look at her and I see a breakthrough. You might look up here and say greedy, useless, corrupt, government. I see her as free, passionate, expanded, generous. No one, not even me, can tell you how to view yourself or your life. If there was a one size fits all, then we wouldn't even need a language. We wouldn't actually even need to communicate or ultimately exist. For we would all see everything exactly the same and have no contrasting experiences to have any substance or knowledge to what anything actually is. So just like I said at the beginning, am I small or big? It's like we start engaging it as a positive. We start engaging with labels, definitions of self as a sovereign point of view. We get to say our own version of self, purely as positive. Even the most everyday projections are created by you, who is a unique projected perspective of God. Look at this. You could be like poison, profits, slavery, unnecessary, bullshit. Yeah. Or you could see it as evolution, design, creativity, organization, power, unity, creativity, artistic. But when you know everything is you, you're creating the perspective of it, you're creating your negativity, then it's so much easier to be non-judgmental of external reality, because you're like, I'm the only one that's creating this negativity. And I'm not bypassing that this isn't unnecessary and slave labor in theory, but who are you to say that if you don't change your perspective, it wouldn't change in front of your very eyes? How would your life change if you viewed everything as God? And how would your life change if you viewed everything as you? And that everything you currently judge is simply because of your own unresolved judgment of yourself. Let's go back to this. Is there a part of you that feels enslaved? Is there a part of you that feels you're being poisoned? That you're being forced to work? That you're not the designer of your life like these people have designed these packets? And it's like, if we were really truly living in our power, living our dream life, we wouldn't have time to be judging everyone else. Maybe one person that's designed one product here, their dream was to be a designer. And you realize you're the all, and it's just this evolutionary process. You're like, I am not the judge of this all. I don't want to be. I'm only judging it because I'm not living my dream life. Yeah, I'm spending my only moment of now pointing the finger at everyone else. And really, I could be pointing the finger at me, what I don't yet have, what I haven't yet embodied. I'm not living my dreams. And therefore, I would stop pointing the finger at other people. I'd understand and be non-judgmental and say, oh, wow, you went for it. They might have had a lower intention about it, but that's also a judgment. Who are you to bother with judging? Because a higher spiritual leader could judge you and say, oh, all you want to do is this. Really not the time. So how would your life change if you viewed everything as God? Let's view this as God. Wow, God is pasta. Oh my God, I love pasta. Doesn't mean I'm going to eat it. Wow, God is high oil. Doesn't mean I'm going to eat it. Doesn't mean I'm not. I'm just seeing it as God. Oh, it's a version of me. Beautiful. So can you feel the gratitude, love, and excitement of the world available to you if you released your judgments? Where would any pain reside if you didn't view life as painful? Where would any struggle reside if you didn't perceive yourself to be struggle, to struggle? Where would any scarcity reside if you eradicated scarcity as a belief? You can only see the things in life that you believe are true for you. Therefore, begin practicing this consistently. That is God, that is me, that is my creation. If it feels uncomfortable, then I can reframe it to mean something else so that I no longer see through the old eyes. Now, the current perspective of ascension is that there's a 3D, 4D, and 5D ascension occurring, okay? Now, 3D is we perceive that we learn through fear. If a mistake happens, I learn through it. Something goes wrong, I focus on what's going wrong to then tune me into what's going right. 4D is that we're tuning into a remembrance through consistency. We're not saying I learn. We're saying I remember. Consistently, I remember that I am. I remember that I am. And 5D is I rise through choice. I'm consistently rising. A choice. I'm creator, I'm creator, I'm creator. Now, in this 3D judgment, life includes the perspective that there are wrongdoings. There's something wrong happening. In the 4D, it's this joint awareness. I am the creator of the judgment, and I'm also the witness of the judgment. In 5D, it's full non-judgment. Life includes everything. If I'm not judging, then there can be no good and there can be no bad. I cannot even judge someone doing something, the most heinous crime. I couldn't even judge them because I'm aware that life includes everything. And that's where we're heading. Now, 3D in terms of manifesting is the perception. I need to have it to be it. I need to have $1 million to be a millionaire. 4D is I am being it to have it. I'm being the frequency, the vibration of a millionaire. 5D, I am a millionaire. I am it, and therefore I have it. And this is that process of manifesting. You don't need it right now to be it. 4D, your practice, I feel like I am it. I feel my awareness is worth $1 million. I feel it. 5D, it's manifested. 3D, this is the feeling of choiceless. I don't have a choice. I don't know how to make $1 million. I can't go and be a pilot or a doctor. It's too late. 4D is consistent choice to keep realigning to a new belief. I am worth a million. I am $1 million. Wow. What does it feel like to be $1 million? 5D is completely knowing it. No doubt. Yeah, $1 million. 3D, we ask how? How can that be true? How can we do it? How can I get it? 4D, you make a decision. I'm going to be consistent that I am this. And 5D is the manifested version. It shows up. Now, I really love this, and hopefully you haven't heard this before because it will really knock you out. We've all heard what I focus on, I get. What about this one? What I don't focus on, I don't get. We all know what I focus on, I get. What I focus on, I get. I focus on negativity, I get negativity. I focus on positivity, I get positivity. What about what we don't focus on, we don't get? If you don't focus on being a millionaire, you don't get $1 million. If you don't focus on healing your trauma, you won't heal your trauma. So in this 4D bridge in the middle here, what am I actually focusing on? What am I actually focusing on? And what am I not focusing on? Beautiful, huh? So here we get into it for presence, okay? So what we give out, we get back. Let us examine the tube torus here so that your mind, because your mind has to agree with you for this to work, for your ascension, your mind has to be taken on a journey. You're basically babysitting and parenting your mind to trust you again, to trust the energy, to trust your soul. So if your mind doesn't understand, it won't, it will fight you. It will say, no way. No, don't believe you. I don't trust you. So you've got to have integrity of this. This is why consistency is the whole path. Okay. So we're going to take your mind on this journey because you don't really need to know how you ascend. You don't really need to know. And it's like, why do we need to know spiritual teaching? Why can't we just sit and meditate? And you can. But right now it's like, take your mind along with you because that's the fun. Part of the embodiment is actually taking taking your awareness on this super orgasmic journey of being like, I totally get it. And I'm it. Oh my God. And now it's shown up. So we'll examine your tube torus here so that your mind finally accepts that your magnetic field as your manifestation vortex, and we'll understand what the fuck you're doing all the time, right? So here we've got your simplified view of inside the tube torus. Okay, so say that this middle bit here, okay, we zoomed in at the point in the middle where it would be thin. This is that tube torus. So the tube torus is coming in, it's going out, it's coming back in, and it's going out. Now on those Venn diagrams we had before of those 3D and 4D, these are all your fluctuating perspectives inside your tube torus. So you've got your tube torus, fine, you're having a great time, and you're in here, different perspective, but then you've got all these different perspectives. This one's for, let's say, relationships in your 3D. This one is for your wealth. This one is for your soul service. And you've got like a 3D, a 4D, and a 5D just trying to communicate with you, but it's all fluctuating because we're not being consistent with what we focus on, we get, and what we don't focus on, we don't get. Now that tube torus of yours is actually held within a dimensional grid. So we might say you've got 3D, 4D, and 5D, but you might actually just be stuck in a 3D grid. So you do have limitations surrounding you if you're not consistently heightening your awareness within your tube torus, because you're getting information that's 4D, but you're just stuck in 3D. So you're like, oh, how? I don't have a choice. No, I only learn through failing. And this is like giving you these options saying, no, push through it, push through it. But if you're not consistent with wanting to go higher, then you're just going to be stuck in the grid. So this is a tube torus effect of the dimensions. So within that, say that we said that one example is the thin. Inside your tube torus, let's say you've got a 4D higher and a 3D currently. And we can look at it like this as well. So your lower beliefs and your higher beliefs. View of the tube torus for realms within each dimension. So down here you could be in your 3D and you could just be like in total suffering. We know you're not if you're watching this training, but you know, this is just to ground it. And then up here, you're like, I believe I can change. I believe I can change, but you're still in a 3D. Now, we give out fluctuating frequencies and we receive the same back. Right? So we're receiving back fluctuations. Our aim is to be consistently in the 4D going to the 5D bridge. Here, between the dimensions is where presence is found and needed. So either view that resonates with you, if it feels like big to small, and then your presence is there going into high dimension, or if you feel like small to big and it's wider for you to feel like you're going into something big, you decide. I've used those two as examples, you could choose. But picturing the view of this from above, it will look like this, right? Yeah. This is your center point. And first, we use external reality to desire new desires. So the example here is to have a consistent $10,000 cash month, right? You might generate more sales, that's fine, but 10 grand in the bank cashed every month. Now, first of all, from this outside of this, the intent to receive, you're like, oh my God, I really, really, really want to receive 10K months, right? Then we go through the process, of course, imagine reality with it. Wow, what would that be like? What would that feel like? Oh my God, that'd be so cool. I'd do this, I'd be here, this would be happening. That would mean that I have become this version of me. Then we move to grateful for the feeling, like, oh my God, I'm so grateful for how I feel. I feel so safe, I feel so abundant, I feel so creative, I feel so happy, I feel so sacred. Then we detach, we're like, oh, it's done. Like, I am that. I don't need to keep going over it, like, I am that. And we're present then within our heart because we've pulled our energy into the center. We're just here like, oh, that's how it feels. Brilliant, right? So now your awareness resides here in this center point between dimensions. This center point, this presence, this is the real you. So if we reverse the direction of the feeling outward with the intent to receive, instead of also present within our heart, I am present. Detach as it's done, all my needs are met. Grateful for the feeling, I'm so grateful. I'm literally so grateful. Imagine reality with it. Reality is perfect. Intent to receive, I'm ready to receive. Okay, so you then like reverse that and you begin projecting reality into existence from your new perception of yourself from your center point. It ripples your perspective outwards. So you're there and then you're like, I'm so present, all my needs are met. I'm so grateful, reality is perfect. I'm ready to receive, yo. Outside reality starts shifting. Now, what you see, what you put out, you will get back. So of course you're going to get that back. Here, as well as believing it too. It's fair enough to think, oh yeah, what I believe I get back. But if you don't believe it, then you're rippling out, I don't believe it anyways, there's no need to come. Without believing it, you feel like the fake, you feel a bit greedy, you feel like the greedy one. Because you're like, oh yeah, 10K months, I just really want that. But I don't believe I'm going to get it. Because you don't feel worthy and you don't believe the method yet. If you really understood the method, if you really like what I put out, I get back, it's just a matter of fact. It's just like in 3D, if you rob a car, you'll probably get done for robbing a car, right? It's just the same manifestation, but like new versions of it. If you believe you got 10K months, if you believe it as much as you'll get done for robbing a car, it's just a matter of fact. So from being consistent, you'll feel like a fake one, but from being consistent, you just become that version of you and you believe what you have said, meaning there is no doubt or disbelief. So being consistent means that it's only a matter of time until you, one, literally believe it, two, become it, as in you feel it, and three, you have it. It's just a matter of time. So here I've put either way you feel in most resonance to visualize your ascending funnel directions, wherever you feel it's like I said before, small to large to middle, or large to small, like you're squeezing through here, or small to large. Your job is to stay centered. Your job is to be like, I am 4D going 5D. I'm only giving out 4D. I'm only giving out 5D. I'm only going to get that back. I completely believe it. I'm completely consistent. There is no need for me to doubt or fluctuate. I completely believe it. And decide to consistently spiral up, not down. And of course, I'm not saying you're actually going up. We're in a cosmos. There is no up or down. You can't label yourself, right? Like at the very beginning. There is no basis for comparison to label yourself and to say as a fact where you're going. Your job is to stop defining yourself by the labels of others and to actually decide for yourself of where you're going to go in terms of a higher vibration. Higher not meaning more, worth more. Higher just meaning lighter. So here we have the dimensions within the tube torus, and it's an eternal journey. So this is like a frequency, right? That's what everyone's come to a conclusion of, huh? With frequency, 99.99 past the zero of space, 0.01 with the noughts 9 point by past the dot. But we're 99.99% space and 0.01 of light, but it's not actually matter or anything, it's consciousness. So we're a frequency-based bit, but you all know that. Anyway, the center point is where you stabilize your new low, which is your new high. So say you're like, I am so grateful all the time. That becomes your low. That becomes your normal. But that right now is like your highest thing. We're like, I'm so grateful all the time. But then that will become your low. Can you imagine? Now, all of these frequencies, all these perspectives, they're happening right now. If you're aware there's a 3D and a 4D, you're aware you're going to 5D. Of course there's 60, 70, of course there is. Is that all a matter of perspective? It's all a matter of frequency. Now, within each of these dimensions, they've all got their own tube toruses, as you can just imagine. So that we're all in this 4D bridge and we're all giving out, I believe, I believe, I believe. It's like, okay, cool, they believe, they believe, they believe. 5D's like, I know, I know, I know. And they're like, yeah, yeah, fine. 6D. Let's not get into that. But within these dimensions, let's say this big fat one here, if you'd resonated that that wasn't the anchoring point, this was the anchoring point, that within these dimensions, within the middle of the dimensions is the ascension and the descension. So like here is the anchored 4D, here's the fluctuating 4D to 5D, which is obviously where we're going like, I believe I am, I believe I am, I actually am manifesting now. Oh my God, I've got it. You know, not that we'd actually say, oh my God, I've got it, but we'd like, yeah, so obvious. Of course, I've got it. And here it's like, I'm getting it, I'm getting it. And here it's like, I believe I'm getting it. I literally believe it's coming. But here, if you picture this energy is coming out, it's moving up. Yeah, this energy is coming out, it's going back round. All energy is moving up, right? All tube toruses, the energy is going up and up. It's almost like pushing it up. Like, you know, you've got a pack of sweets and you're pushing all the toothpaste and you're pushing from the bottom, you're pushing, it's moving the way up. Equally so, all energy is moving down, right? It's coming, it's moving down, it's moving around in spirals, moving down, moving down, moving down. So because this is happening, it's going up and down and around. The only thing we're here to do and can do and want to do is be present with knowing we are it all. And we'd never actually know where we are. That's a 3D construct of location because we are actually everywhere, right? We're a part of this. We're literally a part of this. So it's our awareness. It's our choice to consistently decide where we are and where we're aligned to be in. Now, don't worry, we're getting more into this, okay? We are everywhere now in one giant tube torus because I'm saying you can't compare me. You can't say I'm not part of it all because that's my decision. That's literally my decision. But like this, we're in this ever moving tube torus of awareness. So of course we're everywhere now, from the lowest to the highest. Now, there must always be someone, a perspective of awareness at the top, who then chooses to re-engage and send itself back down to enlighten its other selves, right? If you haven't watched the training and received the activation on Global Spiritual Leader Teacher Training for Cellular Microcosmic Awareness, go and get it. It is so good, okay? And that really gets into the cell being the earth, etc. But here, so this 9D, this perspective of 9D, in theory, could just go, oh, well, I'm just going up and I'm up, but that wouldn't be the flow of this whole thing. It can't just go up. There's an element of upness, but there's also an element of downness. So there's an element that these highest perspectives are actually pushing themselves back down, sending themselves back down. And I believe this is a choice. Okay. Now, did they have to? Did they have free will to not or to go back down? Is it inevitable of the tube torus to just send you back? Or is it a choice? Did they decide? Once they accept the tube torus, is it possible that they then get to make a decision whether to remain at the top or go back down? Or is it inevitable that once you're at the top, you have the power to project yourself anywhere, for you know you are it, and therefore project yourself to someone who is calling for you? To make a decision that if you were at the top and someone called you and you were aware you could go to them because you're it, you figured it out on them, would you decide to go back for them? And with their knowing at the top, knowing they're the all, you then have no fear of what would happen to go down anyway, right? Because you understand it. So it's always a win-win. You know this is worthwhile. You know it's the divine plan, the game, the quantum flow. You know what you have to do. So you seed yourself with the exact funnest plan, and away you go. However, I believe that there must be compassion. For otherwise, I believe that awareness would just stay there. And this is when you activate your light leadership. You're like, seeing as I do know more than others, I actually have to engage with this idea that someone else's awareness went back down to help me get here. What can I do now to embody the all, to embody the highest being, the highest perspective of sharing, because you know you're the all? How can I engage in that fully, like no ego from it, just like, no, I am compassionate to others because I fully understand the tube tours. I fully understand what I give out, I will get back. I will get more help from above, from these higher perspectives, if I also do what they do at my level. Helping at any level that you currently are. That's showing compassion, and that you understand the formula, you understand the movement. So let's say the higher self, but we don't mean the higher self, we mean any higher self, anyone that's got higher wisdom than you, the awareness of what's happening, chooses to go down, moves its awareness back down the tube torus, back down the spiral, to assist itself to rise up. But in assisting itself to rise, higher self chooses to go down to assist itself rise up. But in assisting itself to rise, it then rises back up. Right? It's moved itself down to help a lower version of itself. But then in helping that lower version, it moves back up because the lower version has risen. So is it compassionate or is it greedy? It helps itself rise, but has to go down to help its other selves to rise. But in rising them, it rises back up. And where does it end, if at all? And if it does end, then rise, because you need to. It's got a completion point. And if it doesn't end, then rise, because that's the point. You don't want to be going back down. And you can take this as a perspective of like higher guides, but really activate this in your light leadership. If you have to go back down to help another rise up, if you have to go down to their level, this isn't saying lower your vibration. This is just like getting to them on eye to eye, knowing their pain point, speaking their language. If you have to go down, and even in your fluctuations, if you have to go down to actually rise your energy back up, then accept it as part of it, because I strongly believe that the highest perspectives do go on this journey where they descend to ascend. They descend to help their brothers and sisters, their other lower perspectives, to ascend. And I don't believe they have any suffering in it, because I believe with their awareness, they hold the space, they hold the light. I don't believe that it feels scary, because just the same as us with our consistent graceful upgrading, to them I feel that their lowering to help would be a consistent graceful process. As in, they probably, when you hear channelers and we're channeling and they're saying like such cool stuff, there's an aspect of you surely that thinks, God, they must think I'm such an idiot. They have to literally be so compassionate to put up with our bullshit. Like, we're so needy, we're so greedy, and you're just like, it's the most compassionate parent, because the parent knows, look, you put your hand in the fire, it is fine, you can do it and not die, you're eternal, but you also can do it and get burnt. But I'm just advising you that you will get burnt. Right? I'll advise you once. And we ask them time and time again, how do we manifest? How do we be grateful? How do I stay present? And they must be so higher conscious, so compassionate, so wise to not give up on us. They literally know the divine plan. They're literally like, I can hold space because I'm literally present in the only moment of now. Of course, it's not annoying me because you are myself. You're an aspect of me, and I didn't know it at one point, and I won't know it again. And I hope that you will rise, and maybe I've descended and you come and help me. Just beautiful. It's beautiful. So here's a question: to believe or not to believe? Surely that is the question. To believe in the divine plan or not? That is the question. To believe in quantum physics or not? That is the question. To believe every ancient spiritual master or not, or your government. Do you know what I mean? I know you don't, but that's the question. To believe your intuitive self or not to believe your intuitive self, like to believe the mind over vibration, over manifestation, over the potential. Yeah, that's the question. But really, with this training, it's to be present or not to be present, because that right there, that's the practice. First, consciousness was unconscious of its awareness. And so it was everything, and in no need to label itself as everything, for it needed not to, for it just was, and it still is. So let's take my example. Consciousness was unconscious of its awareness. If I don't label myself, am I unconscious? Am I consciousness that's unconscious? Am I in that very state of being, the original perspective of the universe that didn't need a perspective of itself because it was aware, because it was unaware it was all, but it didn't need to be aware it was all because it was the all, right? And still is. Like we are this microcosm of the original point of creation. Right? It's as true as anything. So first, the awareness of consciousness said in the nothingness, and then it's almost like it turned itself on and said, oh my God, I am. I am aware. I am. I am a thing that's now aware that it's a thing. I am aware. And in this awareness, it was a bit nervous and scared. So it said, oh, hold on though, I can choose to be unaware, right? I can go back to the nothingness, the unlabeledness, the unlabeled, the void, the unconscious of consciousness, the unnecessary awareness of I am, because it is that. You know, like you're driving, you don't need to be aware you're driving. You're breathing, you don't need to be aware of breathing. It's that presence that we look for in meditation, because that is the original point of creation. Being unconscious of being conscious, because you're conscious. You know, we're not trying to find this constant adrenaline awareness. I'm it, I'm it, I'm it. It's like once you're like, I'm it, you're like, it's safe for me to be unconscious, to be relaxed, to be in the presence, the nothingness, the void. And you know, with meditation, it gets confused with being like, I'm so present, I can feel everything. It's like, no, I want to feel everything, fine. And in the everythingness, I can't feel anything because I'm everything. I can't label what I feel because I feel everything. So it's like you have to see that could be considered unconscious, like someone walking around in 3D, unconscious of what they are, not feeling a goddamn thing. And we're ultimately going on this higher journey to be like, I'm so present with everything that I can't feel anything specifically, meaning I feel no thing specific, but everything. I'm just the awareness of what is, right? So this awareness also says I can choose to be aware of everything. I can hold the space of being aware of everything in this moment. I am aware, I am everything, and I can choose to be aware of everything. But this awareness equally said I can choose to feel alone in that. To feel like I am the one, I am everything, and therefore I feel alone. Because what's there to do? I'm everything. Great, story's over. What about it? So then it became engaged and said, I'm aware I am one being. It's a positive. Okay, I am one whole being. I'm one beautiful whole being. Take this for yourself. I'm aware I am one being. Just ground that down. Like it feels safe. It's okay to say I'm one being. And then this source consciousness said, I am unaware of everything this one being is. To activate fear, but also activate excitement. I'm actually unaware of everything this one being is. I'm aware of everything, but I'm unaware of everything this one being is, the potential. What is the potential in this one being? Hmm? And so it began experimenting with its everythingness and its nothingness. Hmm? This presence that we all have. I am God. I am not. Hmm? 4D. I'm going to keep believing it consistently. I'm God. I'm God. I'm God. 5D. Oh, I'm God. 4D is this consciousness awareness. Yeah, I am God. And theoretically and experientially, vibrationally, accept a perspective that I feel able to perceive a reality where God consciousness isn't a religious construct and has any negative connotations because it's grounded in spiritual science. I am God. I am creating a holographic perception through light and space. I'm the creator. I'm God. I'm an individual aspect of creator as creator. And 3D is just like, oh no, I'm not, because I haven't got the shit that God would have. I haven't actually got stuff to prove I'm God. I'm not God because XYZ, because I done this. I'm not God because there's pain in the world. I'm not God because I don't yet fully understand how I could be God. I don't yet fully cognize mentally how I could claim that, because I'm still labeled in all the old fear-based propaganda of what God would be and how mad and insane I'd be if I said that to others that aren't on the journey. But get this. In the very moment I am said I am, they birthed you. You, right now, that you were within their original thought. How powerful is that? Every moment was constructed in that very moment. For it is only a perspective of choice, a decision, and a knowing to believe this or not. That will decide which dimension you perceive yourself to be in and the very purpose of your being. Did God choose to think of me when they realized they were God? Did they decide I'd have this journey as them and me? And did they know that I would get to believe this as well? This is a dimension choice. And like I said before, no one can tell you it's not. How can someone prove to you it's not? It's like, what? You're proving, no. This is your choice. This is how powerful you are. Your imagination, your intuition, to literally like God thought of me in the very moment they were birthed, because it's all happening now. Every perspective, possible, infinite intelligence is happening in that dimensional awareness of that tube torus. If someone can have all these different perspectives in Earth, of course there's the perspective right up to God being there. Of course there is. Of course there is. It's almost unjustifiable to declare there is not an infinite intelligence. It's not like, yeah, but what's the purpose? It's like, no, no, no. I'm just saying purely, if there's a perspective here that there could be God, then there is God. It's simple as that. Because in having a perspective of that, it means that there are infinite potentials available. Because if someone can say there isn't and someone can say there is, then there is and there isn't. There can be. There can be. There has to be both sides. As in, if there is, because there's two sides, if there's someone saying there isn't, there has to be God as well. There has to be God. And it doesn't mean there isn't God, it means the perspective. I don't mean that there is or isn't God. I mean the perspective of there isn't means that there is a perspective that there is, meaning that there is. There's never not God. There's a perspective that there's not God, but there is always a perspective that would eradicate that one lowest perspective every single 0.0001 millisecond, microsecond of a belief of there isn't, But then there's 99.9999% that there is, because from that low one, we could only get higher. So there's like 0.01% there isn't. So will you accept the choice of being the original creator to claim, I am the awareness of it all? The awareness of the 99.99% perspectives of being the one creator, of being the reality projector, of being the original thought. It seems like pretty good odds. So presence. Presence is knowing you are the oneness birthed from within the nothingness. And presence is wanting to express both sides of this self equally, consistently. Being able to be completely empty, for it already knows itself to be the all. Therefore, open to receive specifically what this unique perspective needs to receive to rise, and then assist all other selves of itself. Yeah? It already knows it's all. In that tube torus, you are part of that tube torus, therefore you're the all. But you're maintaining a unique perspective of the all. So your job is to open to receive specifically what you need yourself to rise, and then assist all other selves through that compassion, through stepping into your light leadership. So here we have the center point, your heart. I think it's like the highest electromagnetic field generating thing, more than any battery or something. Obviously in the body, yeah, in the body, but it's very powerful. And my practice is 5D Vipassana. Okay, so Buddha's practice of Vipassana obviously wasn't delivered in a fifth dimensional perspective, because we were in a third dimensional perspective. And Vipassana now is in a ascension process, so it's able to be perceived as 4D and a 5D practice. And I'm very much sure that in 60, I'll be like, 60 Vipassana, oh my God, I can't believe I didn't see that. But I won't say that. I'll just say, I understand there's 60 Vipassana now, and I'll create a training on it. In Vipassana, obviously being delivered by the Buddha, it was his channeled teachings. Now, this is to explain to you, I do not believe that you are here to follow another teacher. I believe that the Buddha's teachings, for example, of 3 steps of Vipassana, was his unique perspective on the all. And he himself states, don't trust me because I've said it. Go and figure it out for yourself, because you're going to have a different perspective. Buddha's not trying to raise a bunch of Buddhas. Buddha's trying to say, I don't know, I just sat my ass down and done this thing, which we're going to learn, which you're going to be taught. And I figured out all this stuff. Like, it was almost like I was just in this oneness perspective that was able to receive higher intelligence. I mean, you could receive completely different stuff. The whole point is that I'm not trying to tell you to do what I've done and get the results. I'm saying what I've done to get these results, and you're more than welcome to learn that. Now, I also believe that the Buddha is showing us what a light leader is supposed to be here for. They are showing that their practice was their everything, and that they received their teachings from their practice. They weren't trying to come up with teachings. Their desire to be liberated was ultimately their life's purpose. And then their fame and recognition as a spiritual leader came from that. I don't believe that the intention of being a spiritual leader comes before seeking your own personal liberation, and the byproduct of maintaining your personal liberation journey would ultimately then be what you would serve, because you would have figured out a formula. Now, obviously, with light leaders activating their soul line business, You have received a formula because you're here having an ascension process. So you have already activated those dormant DNA strands of your soul mission purposes. And whatever you currently do to practice, whatever you currently feel that you've embodied to get to a certain point is what you can serve and charge and monetize for, because it's you not saying, oh, but I'm not there yet. It's like you're somewhere, you're definitely somewhere ahead of the game. And what you currently know could help people, as well as you're aware that your spiritual path is so important to you that you literally do want to focus on it all the time. So therefore, being paid to focus on it all the time means that you are prioritizing your liberation. Yeah. So the simpler you can make your formulas that you've already embodied is what we want to do for people, because Buddha's formula are very, very simple. So yeah, there's tweaks and stuff to be made. And he could talk higher philosophy, but obviously, like you probably know in the text, he would speak the same language, he would speak the level that someone needed. So you're well within your rights to, fair enough, design your client avatar and design it for specifically who excites you with teaching. Like I like working with advanced light leaders who kind of get it already. I can't sit with someone who's like not engaged in a spiritual path, whereas I believe from all the trainings that Buddha, anyone could come and sit meditation with them. But nowadays it's like no one's just wandering around villages asking to be taught meditation. They're sucked so deep into the matrix that you've almost got to like, dazzle them a little bit to get their attention. So obviously it's a bit of a different path, but if you were going to follow, if I could advise anyone to follow a business program, it would be basically to learn Vipassana and just literally witness what the Buddha done and just be like, I love that. I love that their spiritual liberation being their incentive ultimately ended up them being a global spiritual teacher for eons, which obviously was their divine plan mission, of course, but that the formula is so potent that it's everything encapsulated, but all from their original intention of their liberation. It wasn't like, oh, I want to get money. Do you know what I mean? He gave up the money. He's like the full textbook story of a true light leader. And I intend us all to understand that, practice that, embody that, and become that, and literally sit back and go, oh my God, I literally became a Buddha, right? And I encourage you to go and do that. Global spiritual teacher, spiritual leader, activation of mind, because it is absolutely potent, absolutely potent. And to do it again and again and again and again and again till you know yourself as that, till you see those statues in your honor. I have to encourage you. Activation is absolutely potent. If you haven't had it, then you need to go and download that now. And if you had, then you know exactly what I'm talking about. Okay, so Vipassana. And I will describe this as 5D Vipassana because you're advanced spiritual awareness. However, it's so simple to personify because that's what a good teacher does. So the Buddha's path is that one side of you will be craving and one side of you will resent. So one side of you is craving what you don't have and one side of you is resenting what you do have. Okay, this is suffering, this is 3D. This is Maya, the illusion, everything. Craving what you don't have, but that's because you're unaware that you're the all. Resenting what you do have, that's because you're unaware that you're the all and creating it. And therefore you're just completely in suffering, in lack mindset the whole time. So this is where we mix. This is the 5D awareness of the teachings of Vipassana. So in Vipassana, let's say that this tube torus is your 3D and you're craving and you're resenting. Okay. Now, either I'm just showing you that, like either direction of the tube torus, whether you want it looking up or looking down, how I showed this, you're trapped, You're trapped in this, okay? And you're trying to go up here to 4D. But 3D, whatever you give out, you're getting back. You know this. It's simple, yeah? You give out craving, you're going to get less back. You're going to get more craving. The universe won't give you what you focus on. If you don't, remember what we said, if you don't focus on feeling abundant, you won't get abundance back.
This is that beautiful upgrade. This is why Vipassana is so helpful. Resentment, not grateful for what you have, you won't get anything more. Not focusing on having more, not got enough, no more coming. Now, 5D is obviously new vibrational awareness. That's not saying that Vipassana is new vibration. I'm saying that my awareness, because we're in ascension process, is able to claim it as 5D, new vibration awareness of Vipassana meditation, which clearly is a channeled piece because we're all connected, right? And obviously Buddha, coming from 6D, was channeling down and came down to serve us, which is why he's teaching compassion. Right? But my awareness of how to teach their lineage, because I help how can we say this? An alternative reality perspective of me did not have a child, and she went and lived a monk life, and she actually awakened so much oneness that she sits with the Buddha, Jesus, Mary Magdalene, and Mother Mary. And over 12 weeks, 2 years ago, there was a portal open where we overlapped awareness and we merged codes. She wanted to merge codes with me as a mother, and obviously I wanted to merge codes with her as a freaking monk, because that's like the dream life for me. And she's like, dream life for me is being a mother. And that would actually help you say, whatever you think you want in your dream life, there's already a parallel reality where it's happening. So you literally let go and you say, okay, I'm supposed to be here now. Can I just focus all my attention on this one perspective rather than craving what I think I don't have and not being grateful for what I do have? I have everything. I'm the all. I'm part of the entire cosmos, tube torus effect of every single perspective. I need to raise my perspective here because I'm only going to get the same. And I need to show up and serve the all for myself. Okay, so we take the opposite belief. Okay, now this is my training of Vipassana. Instead of craving things you don't perceive you have, you take your higher awareness of being a part of the all, and you literally choose to reinstate the belief, I have everything I need. Then you decide, no, that's actually true. I do have everything I need because I'm part of the all. And then I know I have everything I need because this is literally the divine plan, and the only place I can ever ascend through is my center point. So of course I have everything I need. I literally only need my focus, my awareness, my presence within my heart, tuning into, expanding my fields to align with higher dimensions. Of course I have everything I need. That's the only thing I am, but it's the only thing I need. I don't need anything else to ascend. I am the ascension. My perspective raising itself is the ascension. The only thing I'm doing here is choosing to move my perspective of the all to a higher place, to a bilocative space, let's say. So of course I have everything I need. How can I crave anything when I know that I have what I am here to do? I am doing what I'm here to do. The only thing I do need here is to be here, because my experience of consciousness is that the only thing consciousness is doing right now is having this specific experience to then continue on its eternal experience. So I have everything I need. As long as I have me, I have everything I need, because I am my experience. And here, resenting, instead of resenting the things you do have, I'm grateful for all that I am and all that I do have. Again, I'm aware that I have everything, right? I'm aware that everything I've had, I'm grateful for, because I'm only going to give, get back what I give out. So I'm very grateful because I genuinely feel grateful to be on this experience. I'm not asking for anything else, but yeah, you can say I'm grateful for my family, I'm grateful for my body, I'm grateful for my money, of course, yeah. But ultimately, I'm grateful that I am present. I'm grateful I found presence. And you literally in so much love with yourself, you're just like, oh my God, I'm grateful that I am, right? And it's this feeling of the snake eating its own tail, because you fall into yourself, your presence falls down from your head into your heart, drops down, and you actually, your awareness actually goes on the tube torus. And this is how you're aware that you're actually expanding and manifesting exactly what you give out, you get back, because your actual awareness goes through a tube torus experience where you actually are like, let's say like a picture, an eye within an eye, like, you know, those trippy psychedelic pictures where it's like you move into the eye of someone, but in that eye there's another them, and you just go, like, you're like that. You're like, I'm so grateful that I am, grateful that I am, grateful that I am. I'm so grateful that I am, that I am, that I am, that I am, that I am grateful, right? But on this frequency scale of emotions, on this tube torus, we must have courage to consistently choose, decide, and know that alternative beliefs exist and that we want to embody them. We must have the courage to choose that, to decide that, to be like, other perspectives exist, I am going to embody them. They are just as much mine as anyone else's. So the center point beliefs stabilize when you're using these consistently. I have everything I need, so I have no craving. The only thing I need is me, and I have me. I have everything I need. Do you know how sexy that feels? Do you feeling that? Your cells are just like, oh, like you're in heaven. Yeah, this is Ascension. You're in heaven. I have everything I need. And also, I'm grateful for that I am. Right? When you have these two beliefs, your center is neutral to everything, and that is where you find your oneness. This is the door. This is your multidimensional door. Okay? This right here, you'll feel your vibration. You will literally feel your subatomic wavelets. You'll feel everything. You'll have visions, you'll have all your perceptions, all your extrasensory perceptions, gifts turned on, because you're not attaching to you, the old you. So therefore, the true perception of you exists, resides there. And the only reason you couldn't perceive it before was because you were saying you were something else. And the universe is like, that's fine. You're always the allness. Remember? Source was the allness. It didn't need to say it was the allness. So it's like this underlying depth of you is always there going, I don't need to say I'm God. I know I'm God. But now you're on this ascension journey going up, saying, no, I do actually want to live in a reality where we all know God. That's why then you're saying, I have everything I need, I'm grateful for all that I am, to then experience what was always there. Underneath the labels of the definitions that you gave yourself. Yeah, society, but you know, they're maintained. And when you realize you're the all, you can say, oh, society programmed me to be this way. My mum, my dad, but you're like, but that was me as well. Okay, I take full responsibility. I did that. Why? It seemed cool at the time because I was perspective of lower. Now I'm on the up. Okay. So without craving or resentment for what is, we find neutrality. We find a presence of completion. We feel whole, restored. Okay. This is the completion of a dimensional experience as we peek our perspective through the veil. You're like, I'm done. Anything low, you're like, I'm done, I'm bored. Scarcity, no, I'm not scared. I'm not scarcity anymore, and I'm done. Done with all of it. You close the door, man. You literally close the door. You're like, no, that's no longer my reality. I have everything I need because I'm aware of what I'm doing. I'm aware of the ascension journey. I'm aware. I'm grateful that I am aware. Oh my God. Right? That's it. Nothing can touch me. Yeah. Force sees you. Force shields up. And therefore, when you're maintaining your Vipassana meditation practice, we begin to give out and get back different experiences. You're having these fluctuations of 3D, but then you're like, no, man, I am happy about this. I have everything I need. You're coming out. So then your needs are met. And you definitely have what you need because you're saying, I have everything I need. And the universe can be like, cool, let's give them what they need. But fair enough, you might have these fluctuations. They're like, you have everything you need. Yeah, you need more lessons. So we'll give you some more lessons. And in that lesson, instead of saying, oh my God, poor me, I have another lesson, I'm choiceless, you say, I have everything I need to get through this lesson. And then guess what? You're given what you need to get through the lesson. And here then, oh God, I just really want some more money. I really want that 10K cash month.
You go, I'm grateful for what I am. I'm grateful for what I am. I'm grateful for what I have. So then they give you what you have. They give you excuse me, the lesson, what you'd need to be more grateful. So they might take some money away. Might have less money. You're more grateful with your money then. And you go, I'm so grateful for this money I have, the small amount of money I have. Right? And then it goes, oh, okay, they're grateful for that small amount of money. Oh, okay, let's give them a bit more money. Because if they were grateful for that small money, they're damn sure going to be grateful for the big money. And there's this beautiful, cosmic lesson, because it's still fluctuating with how you learn. Remember, 3D, how you learn is through pain. Through pain. So you're still perceiving pain, but then with this higher thoughts, you change the pain. You turn the pain into the 4D experience. I have everything I need to get through this lesson. I'm grateful for all I have, including this lesson. I'm growing, I'm expanding, I'm part of the all, I'm the oneness. I'm all perspectives. Consistently. This is what has to be consistently. You cannot be, if you've done the 7-7 audio activation, if you haven't, then email me for that link. If you haven't done that, you cannot be 5D. Biology works as in it's the procreation of a cell, yeah, it's a copy paste of DNA. You cannot be 5D if you are not 5D. Get what I'm saying? And that sounds contradictory, but it's like, remember what I said at the beginning, 3D is like, I need to have it now to be it. 4D is like, I'm going to make consistent choice to feel that way. 5D is like, oh, I am that full, yeah? So you've got to be so consistent with it, because you will not get there otherwise. You can't. It's like biologically impossible to procreate a cell that isn't consistently procreating the same thing as itself. So you will only be creating the same thing as yourself. You can stay in this fluctuation all you like. You can just stay there for the next 10 years. That will suck, right? It will suck. You want to be consistent like this. I have everything I need, have everything I need, but I'm in the center point. I'm neutral. I've got courage. This is where you want to be. So this is to show you that these options will be happening, but these 2 points, I'm grateful, I have everything I need. This needs to be consistent so that you are actually open to receive the guidance and you're not actually trying to control it all. You will actually be receiving intuitive guidance on how to get through that 3D sludge. That's why you meditate. That's why you stay present. So we begin to feel more stabilized in our higher beliefs and 4D bridge, right? If you're completely doing it, if you're like, I'm open to receive, I'm present in this space, you actually focus less on the problems. Remember what we said? What you don't focus on, you don't get. So you're focusing on your 4D. So you're like, I'm 4D, I'm 5D, I'm 6D, I'm everything. Oh my God, I'm the whole cosmos. You're going to get more wisdom like that. Yeah. And what do you say? What you focus on, if you focus on, oh, I've got this problem, you get more problems. So you stop doing that. You just stop doing it because of your consciousness of saying, oh, well, I'm not going to try and manifest that. So it just becomes stabilized. And I know that you'll all be there. You're just like, I know I'm 4D, right? Higher and higher, consistently stabilizing ourselves with this presence, with this oneness, with this neutral, with this emptiness and nothingness, that we're not trying anymore. We're in flow state. We're like, I am that everything, and I'm that nothing. There's nothing I need. With the awareness that I am that, there's nothing I need. And then what you do need to have your unique perspective to add to the all, to serve the all, comes to you. That's why I say to people, it's not about trying to think up an idea. It's like staying present, using your mantras, I am that, I'm the creator. To then the creator be like, yeah, you are here. You're supposed to be doing this. You're like, cool. Until we believe, this is a shift here. Until we believe and decide that we are there. Okay? Now you could be there right now. But you could not be deciding that you want to believe you are. And you could not believe that you're allowed to decide. If you're the creator, you just get it straight. If you're the creator, having a perspective of the whole cosmos, wherever, having a unique perspective, who are you not to decide where you are, seeing as you could never actually decide where you are because you are the all? So do you see this? Like 5D ascension is that you are the creator through your beliefs. And that includes believing that you get to decide where you actually are. And therefore, if you're having a really good time in 4D, ascending, you can fully be like, I'm so literally 4D.
And guess what? You'll manifest it. So rather than trying to, oh, how do I send? It's like through this process, it's like just realizing you get to decide that you are a perspective of 4D. You can decide your perspective of 5D. You can decide your perspective of 6D. You can decide whatever you want. But you don't have to believe that you're not there yet. With this awareness, this deep awareness, you get to also believe or experience that vibrational belief to get to the confidence level to decide, no, I'm there. Sorry, I've decided, right? In terms of your manifesting, this is what has to happen. Like, I decide I'm rich. This is it. I make a decision to be wealthy. That's it. I'm not fluctuating. It's a decision. I get to make that decision. I don't need to be labeled whether you're rich or you're not, or because I've done this or because I've done that, if I'm bigger the tree or smaller the ant, none of that. I literally just decide I am that. I'm not comparing myself to anything else. Yeah, that's why this all flows together. You make a decision. I'm rich. I decide to be rich. Fully stabilized with knowing. Right? 5D's knowing I am that. Right? You're stabilized. You're so present in it. You don't think you're anything else. Yeah? I think meditation is like, does it even exist? It's a doorway, it's a portal. Okay? And then we choose, decide, and know that we intend to keep going higher. Right? With the awareness of where you are and you're happy and you're present in that, you're like, oh my God, I'm equally aware that I'm deciding to go higher and higher and higher and higher and higher. Wow. So on and so forth, up the dimensions of awareness. Yeah, stabilizing 4D and stabilizing 5D. Now I've spun them around in case you feel that that's an easier representation, visual for you. So awareness is at every point of consciousness, okay? Every dimension, every single perspective is happening right now. So it is a consistent game of focusing our awareness and choosing, deciding, and knowing where we are. Right? I've done another slide here. Yeah. Okay, so like this is you, this is you, this is you, this is you. This is 90, 80, 70, 60, 5D, 4D. You're saying you're here. Fair enough. Fair enough. Okay, that's your choice. You can say 5D. Consistent game of focusing our awareness and choosing. Who are you to say that this isn't 4D? Who are you to say this isn't 5D? If you're tuning into the highest states of love you've ever had, why are you saying I'm not in 5D yet? Oh, because I got told 5D would look like heaven on earth and there'd be spaceships and I'd be a millionaire. Well, how are you're still saying that it's based on a comparison with someone else, but you'll only manifest your 5D when you do say you're there. When you stop judging it, it's like, wow, what? How do I get there? I get there by the same thing as I do in my manifestations. I feel what it'll feel like to be there, claim it's mine, claim I'm there, decide I'm there, and then I'm there. Now, I knew that was going to happen. I put this a little bit. For each dimension could be perceived to have its own unique tube torus of ascension within itself. Okay, so these are all beings. Let's say this is 4D, 5D. Picture this, 4D, 5D has its own tube torus. And 5D, 6D has its own tube torus. And of course that would be it, because then that would be the lower going to the higher, right? The lower 5D, let's say 4D is easier, lower 4D, I mean more relative, lower 4D going to 5D, and you're in your own tube torus for 4D. And you've got to work through all of those shifts for 4D, right? But each dimension could be perceived to have a tube torus, an ascension within itself. So like being in 4D arising, right? Oh. Sending consciousness, intelligence to itself, up and down from all dimensions. So like this is all one thing, but then within these things, 6D is sending it to 5D, 3D is sending a call for help up to 8D, 9D is sending it down to 4D, because why not? It's all connected. So when you're sending out these ideas, when you're sending out, signals of help, of course they're channeling it down, they're one being. Of course they're compassionate. If you're literally saying, I choose to tune into the ninth dimensional Arcturians, they're like, oh yeah, awesome, nice one. I'm not saying they go outside, I'm saying it'll go through within, but it looked easier to do it with the diagram. So it's like you're already them. So you can clearly go, I'm going to perceive the 9D version of me, send a call out, and they're like, yay, you paid attention to a part of yourself. Sure thing. Now, this is like showing you that the tube torus, all these tube torus of these dimensions, is actually inside a giant tube torus, held together, like always held together. And this is your column of ascension. This is how you channel information. This is where you are. This right here. So, or as I've put the body here, you can perceive that it's all held internally within the microcosmic perspective of you. Now, these are like your chakra points, yeah? This is your tube torus. Equally, this is all of the dimensions. Holding everything. Equally so, feeling it's all, so like this one is feeling it's all within you. You're like, whoa, I'm the perceiver of all these realms. It's amazing. My body literally has all the dimensions within it for their chakra points to fair enough access larger points. But equally so, I am it. I am the access points. I am the perspective of all of it. It's happening to me, through me, as me, but maybe I am the perceiver of it all. Maybe I'm the only creator. Maybe I'm imagining this whole thing because I am the only one, right? But then equally so, feeling, when you go in meditation, feel that it's all outside of you as a macrocosmic perspective, that you are able to perceive everything outside of you. You're like, wow, all this stuff's going on around me. Wow, man. Smaller and smaller you can go, right? As in like pulling your awareness into your one fractal, your one center point, your one 0.0 light consciousness. It's generating your body and penetrating all these fields out to be like, this is all going on outside of me. I feel this big by feeling this small. And then you see like beginning version, when did small become bad? I feel small with the awareness of large. I feel fucking massive because it's only about my perspective of myself, of where I place my awareness as a comparison. And that's what 4D and 5D is for, good comparison. Because there's no comparison. It is about awareness. Until you feel that you are the creator of it all, because you're perceiving it all, you just go smaller and smaller, like, oh my God, of course I'm the creator of it all. No, like, of course I am. Because I'm perceiving I am. So just like every other being has its own unique tube torus, it equally is within the larger one, having its own unique perspective of presence. I often like to show this, like, you know, I could do the diagram bigger where there's this one tube torus there, but you get what I'm saying? These planets have got his tube torus, it's got its perspective of dimensions. We could do the planet large, you know? Every single being is having its perspective of itself within the cosmos. And again, go to that training of global spiritual leadership, because I go further in detail with that. On here, these view from above, the orbits, you know, like when the planets go around, their orbits could actually just be their tube toruses. Just go with me here. It's really beautiful. The orbits of the planets can equally be the tube toruses of their dimensional ascension and descension, of their full ascension, of their own 12D ascension, of their planetary consciousness ascension that might be different to ours. Spirals of tube toruses with their own center point of perspective going through exactly the same awakening as you. Now you're aware you've got your tube torus, but why are we saying these orbits of planets? And they're just orbits of planets. I'm just saying for you to be like, everything is having its own present perspective. That is so freaking cool, right? So just as we have our center point perspective of oneness, our fractal, our heart, our center, our presence, our vipassana point, we are just having the same physiological experience of the brightest stars. Subatomic particles acting the same as the suns and the planets. And they all need a center point. This is what Vipassana teaches you. Teaches you to come in and feel that cell. Really feel that cell and feel its vibration, feel its orbit, feel its moving. Look at this beautiful, yeah, like the sun and the planet, just like atoms. Like we are stardust. It's like the science describes it as like our energy, like say our oxygen was the same oxygen that was created in the Big Bang. The water on Earth was the same water. It's just reused as the Big Bang. And you know, no one could say otherwise. No one could say no, it's not. And you could argue it all day long. But it's like you're 13.9 billion years old if you believe in science of the Big Bang. It's just your awareness, your ignorant awareness of this unique vessel that is saying, I'm 35 and doing this thing. Your physiological body has wisdom within it that is fair enough to be activated, because your water, just example, is 13.9 billion years old, and water holds memory. If you've seen Dr. Emoto, the water particle experiment, where they give, they say like harsh words to water and kind words to water. They play dark music and like high vibrational music, and the water crystals within it, like snowflakes, are beautiful with the high vibration ones, and they literally look like poisonous cells within the low ones. So you just imagine all the trauma that's inflicted over generations, and you know, in theory, trauma inflicted, diets, you know, propaganda. It's inflicting our cells, but it's inflicting cells for generations, because it's the same cells, it's the same elements on the periodic table that are constructing all the minerals, etc., in our body. And it's going to affect us for generations. We need to implement our work now to impact 7 generations along. We need to step up now and serve. We're not saying we're going to make heaven on earth in theory, like I believe we are, yeah? But if you need justification to get yourself to act and to rise, you need to act now. You really need to act now, because your imprint, your legacy is here to help generations, right? So, and there's something more coming through there. So let's say this. If you believe in science and you believe in the Big Bang, then you're 13.9 billion years old. To just get over all of your ego stuff. Just stop talking about yourself like negatively. Like, oh, I done this thing when I was a kid. No, you've done really cool stuff in your life. You freaking the whole of creation. Okay, you're 13.9 billion years old, and you are the entirety of the cosmos, even if you do believe in science of the Big Bang Theory. You haven't got to be spiritual to literally your mind to explode on that and say, fuck, I'm going for it. I am going to speak my truth. I'm going to rise. I'm going to claim my presence here. Why am I constricting myself within a bullshit paradigm when my 13.9 billion year old beautiful cosmological cells are trapped in the ego mind of a social construct on a planet that's run by, in theory, propaganda machines that are telling me I should be basing my life's meaning on a retirement fund? Excuse me, I'm 13.9 billion years old of wisdom. I'm going to sit my ass down, get present with my meditation, ask my cells about the wisdom that's inherently within their genes, their genetics, and their DNA, and ask them to show me the cosmological wisdom that came before. Do you think it's that far-fetched to say you can believe your past life by going into your cells? No, it's not. Do you think there's not DNA in the air? Because it's consciousness, because it is the cosmos that you are. Do you not think that doing some breath work and rejuvenating your cells would bring in new intel, which would, in theory, be the cosmos in your cells, new cosmological intel, purifying your cells, reactivating them, right? Let's just get real here. The reason we meditate is to get out of the enslavement. And this is of no negative of 3D, but it's just like when you're that smart that you can just conceptualize the Big Bang and say, I guess my cells have the same phosphorus that was in stardust. Yeah, of course I understand. My body is made of the stardust of exploding stars. Yeah, I get it. Well, then if you actually get that, then get it and do something with it. Meditate on the idea I know I am a star. I know there's stardust intelligence within my cells. I know I am the original water source, 13.9 billion years old. I know I've been on cosmological experiences through this cosmos already. I am not trapped on this on this planet, only allowed to travel by plane. I am not trapped in this body. I am the awareness of my cells, and I intend to link up my cells to my cosmological lineage and heritage by meditating and coming to this such present, open portal within my heart that I am able to receive my DNA entangled wisdom from my galactic star brothers and sisters through my column of ascension, through my tube torus, because they are interconnected already. And it's only the labels and limitations that I put upon myself to say, no, I'm just Emily, that restrict the connection point. That's what I wanted to say. Okay, these center points within the orbits were not ever just flat feeling orbits. Yeah, we've been told, oh, they're just orbits. No, they were not. They were in fact the center of the tube torus. Okay, it's showing like the top and the bottom of the tube. You're looking there at the ascension of planets. And this, my friend, is the magic. Okay, it's all a matter of perspective. Whether looking down, up or side to side, these orbits have been observed to actually spiral. Okay, it's been guided that our very solar system does not move in a still orbit like they learn in the 2D books. Education was fed to us in a two-dimensional perspective in a book, meaning that you only relate to the world in a two-dimensional things. When you go out in the world, of course you feel nervous, of course you feel fear-based, because your physiological response as a child was to learn through a book. So then to re-engage with reality, it doesn't feel real. Reality never feels real when you've been enslaved in a classroom learning from a book. You'll never feel at one. You'll always want to be told what to do. You'll always want to be learning from something flat. You'll always want to go back to what you had in childhood, right? So you'll learn, oh yeah, flat. I actually believe that these people that are saying flat earth theory might have actually zoomed out and perceived on a grand scale the most giant tube torus from above of God. And there's a part of them that's actually like channeling this information, going, oh, God's looking at it from a high perspective, right? I'm just open to anyone's perspective. I'm really not in judgment, like whatever, you know. Anyway, so instead, our solar system actually moves on a spiral like a DNA. It actually moves like that. And if you can handle that, then your whole life's about to change, right? So we could perceive we are within the giant tube torus. Okay, so picture this. There's the spirals. And just like we're having an ascension process, Earth's having an ascension process, and I know you know this, right? Earth is having an ascension process, right? So picture this, one solar system. Look, oh, you know, there's the orbit that we get told, we get shown. We never get shown this, right? So picture this, that we're in a giant tube torus, as if we are within the cosmos, which is a body. So picture this as one spiraling DNA spiral of our solar system. And the cosmos is the body of God. So like you've got one DNA spiral within you, the cosmos, you're made of 99.99% space, right? Your cell. So how does it say that this one universe isn't one cell of God? Because there's 99.99% space here. And this is one DNA strand. The body of God, body of high intelligence. We are the microcosm of the macrocosm. Okay. Now picture each of the spheres here to have its own center point and its own tube torus and its own perspective. Like these are each suns or planets within our DNA. Like that is a lot of perspectives, right? And you are able to tune into any perspectives. Why would you just tune into having low perspectives? Just fucking go for it. Yeah. Be consistent with the craziest, most beautiful, simple, advanced ones. I have everything I need. And I'm so grateful for everything I am because I'm everything, right? So rather than trying to be all of this, just accept that it's a choice to believe you are. You're all of this. You're microcosm, macrocosm. And in that choice to believe you're a part of it all, you activate God's original thought. I am everything, for I believe I am, or I am nothing, for I do not want to believe. Now, without a perspective on myself, I am whatever I am. Without me having a perspective about myself, whatever I am, I just am. I don't need to maintain a perspective. Without a perspective, I am the all. Like ignorance is bliss. I don't need to decide, I am it. But with a perspective on this, I get to decide. In knowing oneself as it all, the only thing left to do is to decide what it wants to perceive itself as. Now, this is why you manifest, because you know you're the all, and now you get to decide which perspective of the all you choose to have. And 4D is experiencing and embodying this, 5D is having the manifestations. And this isn't saying you not have manifestation 3D, 4D, of course. But the point is you're ascending into a higher heaven on earth, fifth dimensional perspective. So yeah, you're already aware you're going to manifest everything you've ever wanted. This is about deciding that you're going to. Deciding where you want to be right now. Claiming I'm already in 5D. So therefore I already expect my manifestations to show up. I'm already consistently meditating, opening my fractal, opening my one-pointedness, opening my unique perspective and allowing higher intelligence in. I decide to be a pure conduit, a vessel of the divine, messenger. This is presence. Choosing, deciding, and knowing. This is how one manifests the reality they want. By consistently choosing to be the everything, and that is only ever one thought away. As the everything, you already have everything. And what do we say in 5D Vipassana? I have everything I need. Because you're activating, you only need you. And you know what God's going to say to that? They're going to say, thank you. Well done. Here's some other stuff. It might look like it's distracting you, but it's really a representation of the original projection that you perceive about yourself. And seeing as you're perceiving I'm everything, now you get everything. And seeing as you think this old you's going, oh, what's the only reason I'd ever say I'm everything is to get everything? No. The feeling of being everything in presence is so consistently new that your manifested desires only raise and heighten and simplify. So you stop craving to have all that bullshit that you think you want, and you actually get into alignment with your soul mission. You don't even pretend to yourself that there's something you want unless it's a hell yeah. You're like, it looks good for them, it's not for me. It's not literally calling to my soul. It's not giving me the absolute peak state that I feel in meditation. Therefore, I know for goddamn sure that's not what I'm after. But knowing that everything you've ever wanted is only one thought away is a fifth dimensional mantra. Choosing, I choose to be the everything. And that could be your thought in 1 second. So let's have a recap. Your perspective of self creates the external projected perspective of life. You get to consistently change this and experience more of yourself, which you already are, and claim it. You know that being present with yourself in the only moment of now is how you become aware of more of what you already are. You know that being present in your balanced center point is how you would receive higher intelligence on where and what you are. Now, before we go into that, I hope by now you know that you would manifest what you're supposed to manifest from being present. And you would stop fluctuating on what you think you want, on what you should want, on what it looks like you should be doing. And instead you just receive only from your heart. You're the mobile phone. You've got the coach already there for you. You've got your 5D coach, your 6D coach, all the way up to 12D coach. You've got your source God coach coaching you every time you meditate, showing you exactly what to do, how to serve. So how to be present, even through realizing that you create the cosmos. We're nearly at the end of the presentation now before the activation, okay? So presence is remaining neutral to needing anything, for you already are that. Presence is remaining available to receive consistent newness, for you all are already that. Consistent newness, graceful. Synapses jumping one to the other, easily, smooth. It's not like breakdown to breakthrough, just constant breakthrough, gracious, easy flow. Presence is being aware you are already everywhere and you're receiving from an aspect of yourself. It's very, very important. You're not taking from another, you're receiving from an aspect of yourself. There is the same amount of energy always. Picture those tube toruses. You're basically moving energy around. There is so much energy in the higher realms. The fact they're sending it down, they have abundance to share. You're not taking from people in 3D or 4D. You're channeling wisdom from 5D. That's why there will be more money, more abundance here. You're receiving from a higher aspect of yourself, we'll say, a more abundant aspect of yourself. Just like you'd give your money to someone, let's say your charity projects, let's say your contribution, you feel abundant and give money to someone that, in theory is a projection of poverty, same as a 5D, 6D beings giving it to you, okay? So it's not this idea of taking anymore, it's constant receiving. That's what this divine plan is teaching us in this specific dimensional ascension. Presence is the acceptance you are the original transmitter, which is source. So source is transmitting the original ideas down, and you're the receiver of source. You're opening yourself up to a higher version of you. That's you. The DNA is the transmitter and the receiver. So choose and decide, where would you like to receive and transmit from? Which dimension? Which perspective? Which version of you? You get to choose where you are. You can place your awareness anywhere you want by embracing any feeling you want and focusing on that consistently. Ascending is about designing your external reality through maintaining presence. You as the center of it all, always. It is not egoic. It is not greedy. It is a scientific fact. And it is a spiritual fact. You will receive everything from the center point, for that is where everything connects. Finding your center point of receiving is simple. Specific teachers have incarnated for this quantum shift in humanity's cosmological awareness and initiation. And now it is your turn to transmit and receive always from your center point, your everythingness, your source, you. We shall now enter into the practice, and I thank you for sitting with this training. I invite you to use your current awareness to visualize these images of giving out what you intend to get back, receiving and transmitting from and to the all, consistently being grateful and feeling all your needs are met, and honoring that aspects of you continuously are here to serve you. So maintaining presence and a new vibration meditation practice is key in your spiritual service action steps. You never have to make a decision again. You get to connect, open up, and receive everything you have ever needed to know. This is a choice, which then becomes a decision, grounded in deep knowing. When your manifestations show up, you won't say, wow. You will say, oh. For you won't be asking to know everything about your manifestations. When you're in presence in center point, you're the awareness of allness. You are like an open book, and source is writing in your pages. And you're reading it out loud. You're reading the mantras. And then all of a sudden, this thing that you've been reading about, this feeling, is there. And you'll say, oh, God, I could have never imagined that would how it would come. I could have never imagined the synchronicities. I could have never designed a story so clever. And instead you sit back as if you're watching a movie of yourself, and you're actually entertained and you're actually excited. Yeah. You're not saying, I know the whole script. You're like, I know I'm ascending. I know I'm everything. Let me have a unique perspective and enjoy it. From my unique perspective, to have the most bodacious ride of their specific life. So you won't be asking to know everything about your life. You'll be present to receive what you need to know. Right then. For your unique journey, serving all with your consistently upgraded perspective. And you allow all others to tune into that. That's your true service, when you become vibrationally aligned to sending out your breakthroughs and your epiphanies to everyone. And then you trust that they're going to feel it and be aligned to work with you and to come to you synchronistically, because you're doing the work that a guide would do, that an etheric channeled high dimensional being would do, sending out the signals, receiving the signals. It's a frequency-based reality. While we maintain this idea of online promotion, you're missing the whole point that you're actually trying to awaken people to them being frequency, being connected. And yeah, of course, spiritual service online is so exciting, but it's all about meditation. If you're not in meditation, not accessing your heart portal, it's just going to fall flat, flat, flat consistently. And remember what Buddha done. Buddha wanted to be liberated. He didn't want to start online business. Didn't want to start cult, religion, path of liberation. He was on the path of liberation for himself. And this is what my intention for you will be through this month of presence. You're here for you. You be good for you. You find the results and the pathways from your higher self, from your galactic beings through your heart. Take their orders. Don't worry about other coaches saying, do this, this, this. My intention is to activate leaders of their own liberation. And therefore, they can therefore lead in their unique way, because they will too receive their unique formula from their guides, from like the Buddha did. So thank you so much for sitting with this training. We will now enter into the meditation practice, where you will learn this exact method to remain consistently within your center point and manifest from your source. I'm so grateful to deliver this content and live my dream life. My passion is meditation, and whatever your passion is, I would love to serve you too. For the current clients with inconsistent consciousness, thank you so much for being here. Thank you so much for being such leaders. And for anyone else watching this training, activated, realizing they need to go within. They need to desire, to trust they've got the answers within them, to trust this part of DNA, cellular awareness, cosmological awareness, being received into your cells, and then you transmitting with compassion the wisdom that you've channeled. Being consistent with your upgraded mindset tools. I invite you to reach out to me. Reach out, send me some love. I love receiving the love for my work. I want to hear your breakthroughs. I want to hear ahas. I want to hear everything. Because this was all about now connectivity, unity, having an actual experience of each other where we say, wow, you're not a person on a screen. I know you. I feel you. I know I'm going to sit with you and have coffee. I know I'm going to sit with you on a beach, on heaven on earth. That's the point, right? So there's no point in putting up walls now and being like, oh, it's just another trainer and just another coach. Message me, make contact with me, be my friend, This is real stuff. Like, you're me, I'm you. And I'm truly anchoring that grid point to be like, I am world known because I say to myself, I'm everyone. It's not egoic. I'm world known because I'm calling you all into my field to say, you're me, I'm you. Of course you know me. Of course I'm globally recognized. Of course you're globally recognized. We're the same thing, right? So we'll now enter into the practice. If this training was done separately and you haven't purchased the incredible activation, then please go ahead and do so. And if you have practiced it, if you have purchased it, then enjoy your audio now. Namaste, and I will see you on the next training. Thank you.